Hi guys, let me know that you can hear and see, and we're gonna begin right now because I have several past papers here that I would like us to do as much as we can. So that's why I kind of push for us to begin a little earlier. Okay, so I'm just gonna set up my pens and then we're gonna get started in about 2 minutes, okay? All right, guys. So let us get started. Because tomorrow's a holiday, I am going to do a lot more questions than I usually would. So you just would stay as long as you need to, okay? And if you have to leave, you just let me know, and we go from there. All right. So if you guys ready, just say ready. We're gonna start. I really don't have a limit, like I was saying. I'm just gonna do as much questions as we can today. We might do maybe more than one exam. So we're gonna start off with 2004. So to me, I just want to use today and do as much practice as we can, okay? Like you guys know, the more questions we do, the better it is for you because a lot of these questions are repeated. All right, so let's get started. So when we look at question number one, I'm just gonna go through the questions, and if you have any questions, you will just type in the chat and let me know, okay? But for the most part, I will just go through the questions, and maybe one or two I would ask you for your answer. All right, so let's go. We have 0.45 may be written as a fraction. We know that the place values would be tenths, hundredths. So we know we're going to end up with 45 over 100. And then we know we cancel, right? So we cancel using 5 because we could divide both numbers by 5. 5 can go into 45 9 times. And we should remember 5 can go into 120 times. So our answer is A. Next one. Here, this is another repeated question we have done before. They gave us this number, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. And to round it off to 3 decimal places, we know it's B. Excellent. So simple because we did this already. Similarly, let's look at number 3. This number written in standard form, just by elimination, we know it can be A because it has a negative power. It can be B because it has a negative power. And we know we only have a negative power when the number is less than 1. So it has to be between these two. And let's see which one it's going to be. Remember, standard form must be something point whatever else. So we put a point to the back. We move it until we get 1 digit in front of the point. How much jumps that is? That's 3 jumps. So that would give us a positive 3. So our answer is D. I see y'all sending the answers. Excellent, excellent. Telling me you guys are doing your revision. All right, so number 4, it says the fraction of the circle which has been shaded is. So when we look at it, they didn't give us the angle for the shaded area, but we could calculate it because we know all of the angles add up to 360. So to find the missing, we put 360 minus 280. I can't find my glasses and I can't really see. So please just back check. So let me just make it a little bigger because I really can't see. 285. So we just subtract. But if anybody have your calculator, that would help us to get through this faster. So even though you can't use your calculator in the exam, we know how to subtract. So for the purpose of moving faster, we would end up with 75 out of 360. Because this angle here is 75. Everybody with me? So now we can do what? We can break this down because let's look at the answers. The answers are simplified fractions, right? So let's break this down. When we break it down, we use 5. 5 can go into this one. 5 can go into 75 how much times? All right, so when you break it down, essentially using common factors, the answer really is 5 over 24. Sorry, 24. So the answer is A. But everybody understands how we got that though? Everybody understand how we got that? Just confirm it me quickly. So we're not going to stress ourselves about the breaking down. Everybody should know how to break down, okay? All right. Now this is a tricky one. When we divide in any whole number, we cannot divide by a decimal. We got to change it into a whole number. So for a question like this is what you're required to do. First thing first, you always do brackets first, right? So this is going to be 2 divided by 0.01 times 0.01. Without a calculator, how do you know how to work this out? First thing first, these two numbers are decimals. What's the rules about decimals? What's the rules about decimals? If you were to do this long ways, 0.1 times 0.1. 1 times 1 is 1, right? Everybody with me? So to be honest, the digit you're going to end up here, you always multiply it like it's a regular number. So you're going to end up with 1. But here's the trick. How many DPs you must get? How many decimal places your answer must get? This has 2 DP. This has 2 DP. So in all, how much DPs you need to have? 4. So you're going to start from the back. So at this moment, it has no DPs. That's why we put it to the back. And then we're going to count 4. So that's 1 DP, 2 DP, 3 DP, 4 DP. And you put a point here. What do we do with those spaces? What do we fill up those spaces with? We must put a 0 in front. And we must put a 0 in the empty spaces. So we end up dividing 2 by 0.0001. No, anybody remember? You can't divide by a decimal. So you must make this into a whole number. So we move the point back this way. Let's see how much times we move it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody see that? So if we end up with 2, we got to move the point 4 times to the right as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we add zeros here. So what's the answer? The answer is D. If you plug this in your calculator, you would realize that's the answer you get. Okay? Everybody with me? All right. So this is another question we've done before, the ratio question. Give me a minute. I don't know how come the thing shut down, but it happens, right? So let me know if you are still seeing my screen while I relaunch. All right, so we're gonna just continue where we left off. So like I said, we did this question already because this is a ratio question, right? In a school, the ratio of number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20 to 1. If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? So you write out the original. Right? We did this already, so you should remember the answer, to be honest. So we have a ratio of anybody remember it without me working it out, but I'll work it out still. Huh? So we have 20 to 1, which is pupils to teachers. Now, one number did they give us? They gave us the pupil number, so we gotta make sure it match up, 840. So the truth is, what do you do to get 20 to 40, 840? What number do you multiply that by? That would be 42. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Yeah? Or you could have just divide 840 by 20, you would have get 42. All right. Number 7, where is it? Let me see, I think it's over here. All right. 3 numbers of the set P have a common factor, which is, so this is an easy one. You're looking for the number that all 3 numbers have something in common with. So let's start with 4. Okay, there's something called shorthand division, right? You divide by 4. 4 can go into 5 once, and when you go into ones, you remainder 1. 4 can go into 12 3 times. Everybody see how I did that shorthand division? Because remember, we ain't on a time, right? So let's try to divide this one by 4. 4 can go into 7 once, leave back 3, but 4 can go into 37. So 4 is not the answer. Let's try 7 now. 7 can go into 52. Can 7 go into 52? How much times? Y'all hearing me? It can try again, because 7 times 7 7 times 7 is 49. Three members of the set P have a common factor, which is, it can't be 7, because even though 7, this is the trick. You see how reading is crazy? First thing first, for the 4, I had to go through all, because they're saying 3 members. They ain't say which 3. Yeah, see what I'm showing you? Everybody realize it now, because I just reread it as well. Look how that could have tricked all of us, because it tricked me too. So the truth is, we got to go back with 4. We must get at least 3 of them that could be divided by 4. So we know this one can, this one can't. Let's try this one. You see how, honestly, guys, big man thing, please don't get trapped like this. Always go through the question and read it again. So there we go. 4 can go into this 2 times. That's 8. So that won't be left back 1. 4 can go into 9. So that's out. So for this to be correct, these 2 must be divisible by 4. So let's check the next one. If I divide this by 4, 4 can go into 12 3 times, 4 going to it once. So that's check off. We could divide that one. So let's try this one. 4 could go into 21 5 times. That's 20. So that's 1 left back, but this can't. Okay, so we were right. 4 is not it. Because 4 can only be divided by these two numbers. So now let's try 7. Woo. Based on what we see, 7 can be divided, 52 can be divided by 7. Would this one be divisible? Yep, without even trying. Now let's try this one. 7 into 9 goes 1 time, so 2 gonna remain though. 7 can go into 21. 7 can go into 21 3 times, so this checks off. Good. Let's try this one. 7 into this one goes once. How much is left back? 5. And 7 can go into 54. What is it? It could go in here. Yeah. So B is the answer. Everybody see that? All right. Now let's look into the next question. It looking like something we've done before. In the figure is this one, OPQ is mapped onto OPQ prime. What type of transformation is that? Let's go. I need y'all to answer this one for me. Is this a reflection, a translation, or rotation? Shear just means enlargement or... Yeah, that was the answer. The answer is B for this one. So let's go, guys. Which one it is? Rotation, translation, reflection, or shear? Look at what's going on with the points. We did this before. It can be reflection because you see how it positioned in being reflected in any line. It's not an enlargement or a shrinkage because it's the same size. Translation means it wouldn't change how it's set up. So since it's done gone and kind of rotate, it has to be rotation. Yeah. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. I need y'all to pick this answer. You see, this is not a calculation question. 301 can be written as which one? And you should know the powers of 10. You should know the powers of 10. 2 is 100. 3 is 1,000. So which one would you pick? A, B, C, or D? For me, I know B and D must be wrong because they're going to give me 3,000. Agree or disagree? So which one is it going to be? A or C? Excellent. Excellent. Because this just means 3 times 100 plus 1. Whereas this means 3 times 100 plus 10. So the answer is A. Excellent. Let's go. If P is equal to 3, open bracket, A minus Q, then 6A is equal to what? What does this mean? This ain't just a transformation. Your transformation, transposition, you transpose to find A first. Everybody see that? So what do you do? What do you do? Let's get rid of what first? What we can get rid of first? We can get rid of the 3 first, right? So to get rid of the 3, we divide by 3 on both sides. So you're going to end up with P divided by 3 is equal to A minus Q. Everybody with me? And then how do we get A by itself? We move it over, right? So when we move it over, we're going to end up with P over 3 plus Q is equal to A. But what did they ask us for? They asked us for 6A. So guess what we got to multiply by now? We got to multiply by 6 on both sides. But everybody got to get multiplied by 6. You realize that? Let me zoom in here. You can't just multiply one thing by 6. You have to multiply everything by 6. So let's look at what's going to happen when I multiply everything by 6. Y'all ready? So we end up with 6A here. What we gonna end up with here? 6Q. But what gonna happen here? Anybody could tell me what gonna happen here? This thing gonna cancel. So 3 into itself. Sorry, 3 into itself goes one. Let me use black. 3 into itself goes once, but 3 into 6 goes 2 times. So what we're gonna end up with? We're gonna end up with 2P plus 6Q equals 6A. Now, which one comes close to that answer there? So you realize this exact answer is not here. So you know what you got to do? You got to do what? You got to factorize. You got to factorize this side here. So what can I pull out? I could pull out 2. When I pull out 2, I am left back with P plus 3Q. So our answer is A. It was a little working out, but I hope y'all realize what happened. Pretty simple algebra. All right, let's keep moving. Which of the following is equivalent? Now we spoke about this before. It's 2 words that is look alike. Equal sets and equivalent sets. Equal sets is when they both have the same exact elements. Equivalent is when they have the same number of elements. So what's the answer? Excellent. C. That's the answer. All right. We did this already too. The number of subsets of any set, the formula is 2 to the n power. And we know what n stands for. N stands for the number of elements in the set. How much elements in this set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So which one is the answer? Excellent. D. We did this question already. If H is hockey, V is volleyball, and the universal set is students who play sports, how many students do not play volleyball? Let's go. How many students do not play volleyball? Keeping in mind, look at where volleyball is. Remember, all of this is volleyball. So you have to look at everybody else who outside of this circle. So that's 5, that's 3, so that's 8. Okay? Remember, we can't be making these mistakes. We gotta pay attention. All right. Next question. Sorry, I'm eating popcorn. So if you hear me chewing, I apologize. Let's go. Next one. 2 circles above represent P and Q. P is the factors of 6. Q. I wish I could show it to the computer. Factors of 6 and factors of 4. So they want to know what numbers fall inside the graded area. Please write out the answers. What are the factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Everybody with me? What's the factors of 4? 1 and 4 and 2. So what's the answer? Okay. Must be B. Next one. A woman buys a pair of shoes at sale. She pays $45, saving $15 on the normal price. The percentage discount on the pair of shoes is what? If you want to find the percentage discount, what must you find first? The discount, right? So what's the formula for percentage discount? Percentage discount is equal to the discount over the cost price times 100 over 1. Everybody see that? So let's look at it. What is the percentage? And this is where students just make a mistake. Is it 15 over 45 times 100 over 1? Is that working? Let's go. I just need a yes or no. I need a yes or no for everybody. Let's go. No, because 45 is not the cost price. 45 is the discounted price. What is the cost price, people? How do we find the cost price? If $15 was a discount and 45 is what you pay, how do you find the original price? You ain't add up the two. So it's gonna be $60. Okay. So let me go now. If you know 15, if anybody know, these are numbers that tell all you need to know. Look at that. 15 and 15 is 30. Everybody see now? So how many 15s can I get from 60? How much times you need? 60 is 2 times 30. So obviously it's 2 times 15. And how much 15s that is then? That's 4 15s. So 15 into itself goes once, 15 into 60 goes 4 times. So 4 into itself once, 4 into 125 times. So our answer is A. All right. Next question. Tom bought a pen for $60 and sold it to gain 20%. We did this question already. How much money did he gain? They didn't ask how much he sell it for. So you just need to find what? 20% of $60. That's easy. 20% means 20 over 100 times 60 over 1. So we cancel. So that means we have 2 times 6 is 12. Everybody with me? Everybody feeling like confident with these questions and following? That's very important, you know. Okay. Okay. Consumer is the one that you gotta do a lot of work for. Okay, so let's continue. During a sale, a shop allows 20% discount off the mark price of clothing. What would the customer pay for a dress with a mark price of $30? So there we go. We know we got to find the discount first and then subtract, right? So 20% of $30. Same thing like what we've been doing all this time. So what is our discount? Our discount is $6. So how much we paying? 30 minus 6, 24. Next one. A customer buys a table on hire purchase. And again, all of this is revision. What is the formula for hire purchase? Hire purchase is what? Deposit. Let me just write it down here. Hire purchase is equal to deposit plus total installments. And be honest, how much people remember this? So the deposit, based on what we see here, is $306. And the total installment is the amount of money they pay each month by the number of months. So how much months that was? 6 months. So it's 6 times 60. So we end up with 306. And how do we do quick multiplication? 6 times 6 is 36. And then you bring down the 0. So when we add this, what do we end up with? 666. We're going now with CXC and this demonic number. Eh? But anyways, everybody see that? You fire button that for real. You know what kind of thing now? All right, there we go. A dinner in a hotel was advertised at $60 plus 18% tax. The total bill. So you don't know, it's the opposite of discount. So when you find a percent, instead of subtract, you add it on, right? Because taxes make your bill go up. So we're gonna do 18 over 100 times 60, right? So there we go. How you make this easy? You see, when you're dividing by 10, you just move the point. So the truth is, just multiply 18 by 6 on the side. And somebody with a calculator, tell me what that is, please. 18 times 6 is what? So you got $108 divided by 10. You see how easy it is? Because we know when you're dividing by 10, you put a point if ain't have none and you move it to the left. So that's $10.80. So you got to add it to the $60. Don't forget, add it to the $60. So what we're going to end up with? $70.80. That's the total bill. All right. I love questions like this. Simple interest on $400 at 5% annum for 2 years. I need everybody to tell me the answer, please. Only one answer there. It must be A. What's the formula for simple interest? SI equal P times R times T over 100. Yeah, looking good, you know. I like how I looking, you know. Anybody remember the formula for R and P and T? Tell me the truth. I remember that. All of them have the same numerator. All of them have the same numerator. And what's the numerator? SI times 100. SI times 100. SI times 100. The only thing that's different is the denominator. And you're using the two other letters that are not there. So if we got R, what do we don't have? We don't have P and we don't have T. So for P, what don't we have? We don't have R, we don't have T. For time, what don't we have? P times R. Okay? Everybody with me? Pretty easy way to remember. All right. I like how we sound it. We're going good. Let's continue. We did this question already. We did this exact question already. There we go. They gave us this, if the simple interest, and this is P, obviously, this is T, and this is SI. But they're saying if the simple interest is this, what is the rate? We don't know what to do already, innit? We know rate is equal to what? SI times 100 over P times T. So you're just substituting and calculate. So that's 800 times 100 over, what is that? 54. And what's the P? All right, wait, let's make a mistake. It shouldn't be 800 up here. It's supposed to be 54. And 800 is the P, so that should be down there. And 3. Everybody see that? Talk to me. So you got 5400. 8 times 3 is 24, right? 2400. These two gonna cancel. Remember, we spoke about estimating. Think about it. How much times 24 could come from 54? Only 2 is 2 point something. So the answer is obviously B. I'm moving a little fast, but y'all following me, y'all okay? All right, we're cooking on gas. We're cooking on gas. Next, we did this exact question already as well. A plot of land valued 18,000 is charged at a rate of 70 cents per. Remember these questions with the per? The per. Okay, good. Remember the per questions? We know what the per questions mean. What is the total amount of tax paid? So we don't know what we gotta do. So we need to find out how much $100 we can get from this. So we gotta divide by 100. And they're gonna tell us how much units that we're gonna get charged 70 cents for. So this is a quick, easy thing. So this is a cancel. So how many units we end up with? 180 units. And each unit we can charge what? 70 cents. So that's 180 times 70 cents. We did this already. The answer was what? In 126. I think I remember it. Somebody with a calculator. Check it for me, please. See, I remember the answer. So I hope you are seeing these questions when they're repeated. So the answer is B. All right, we did number 23 already. What's the answer? The expression y is equal to the square of x is what? Excellent. That shouldn't need no explanation. Let's go number 24 as well. Answer, we did this already too. What is the answer for 24? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. This is an easy question. So let's go. We know brackets mean what? To multiply everything that's outside by everything that's inside. So we really multiply by -2. So that's -2 times x minus -2 times 4. So -2 times x minus -2 times 4. So we're going to end up with -2x, obviously, plus 8. Everybody see that? D. You gotta be careful. Still in love with you. Same thing. We did this question before. What's the answer? These skills, when you have to change a sentence into an equation, is extremely important. So we got 10 people in here. I need to see as much persons answering this question, please. What is it? Well, wouldn't take my love to show you. Excellent job, everybody. Oh, did I tell you I didn't your date of the exam yet? Y'all know the new date of the exam? It's exactly 1 month away from today. It's the 1st of June. Y'all here? The 1st of June. So we have a whole month. So guess what? You think I got any excuse for not getting a 1 or 2? Be honest. Don't worry about the dating of God. Doesn't make everything happen for a reason. I believe God makes everything happen for a reason. So if God say y'all need a next month, he says so for a reason. Allah, telling the truth. So I learn no know. When results come back, I really should not see nothing less than a 2 because you have no truth. I don't know what word I just used there. I really was trying to say no excuse. You know what the Babylon system is. So I just lay line and now, please don't take this time as something to play around with. Stay focused, stay practicing. All right, so there we go. John had X marbles and Max had twice as many. Max gave Tom, I love this question, so y'all answer this for me too. Max gave Tom 5 of his marbles. How many marbles does Max now have? Which one? Let's go, guys. What's the answer? A, B, C, or D? Listen again. Max gives Tom 5 marbles. So if he give away some marbles, it could never be used in addition. Agree or disagree? So you know from the jump, A out and C out. Okay? And then look at what it says. It says Max has twice as many. So if he got X, what is twice of X? So you know it can't be B, it must be D. All right, let's move on. Here we have binary operations, which gives us a symbol that tells us what to do with the P and the Q. You know why I love this question? This is to confuse you. What number is P? What number is P? The first one is always P. The second one is Q. So that means you write it out. P is equal to 1 and Q is equal to 2. And what do you do with those values? Once you find the values, you plug them into the equation, right? So what we're going to end up with, it's a 2 times Q, and Q is 2. So that's 2 times 2 minus what? 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So the answer is C. Okay? All right. Let's keep it moving. Look how fast we reach the middle. I want everybody to answer this to me, please. I don't want to have to fight anybody. What's the answer? A, B, C, or D? Another repeated question. Excellent. Because that means 2A times 2A times 2A. We know 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Don't get trapped. And then A multiplied by itself 3 times is A to the 3rd power. Excellent. All right. Also, this is another question we've done already. And you should know what to do here. All you got to do is transpose to find X. So I'm just going to go through it quickly. Quick revision. What do we do first? We got to eliminate the brackets by multiplying out. So that's 5 times 2x minus 5 times 1. I write down 5 times 2x minus 5 times 1 equals 35. So we're going to end up with what? 10x minus 5 is equal to 35. Be honest, y'all know how to do this on your own? You're able to lock this down? Remove the negative 5 over. So we got 10x is equal to 40. And we should know how I get 40, right? When it goes over, it changes to plus 5. And then we divide by 10 on both sides. So we eliminate the 10. So x is equal to 4. This question has come a lot. All right. Everybody feeling okay? We reach halfway so far. All right. Now, another translation question. The sum of x and y is 18. And their difference is 14. Which pairs of equation describe the statement above? This is another one you gotta do for me because important skills. So everybody, A, B, C, or D? Which one shows the sum of two numbers is 18 and the difference is 14? Come on. Excellent. What about where did 2 come from? Nobody tell us no about double. So them 2 gone already. Nobody can tell us about 22 neither. So just sort that out. All right. So we keep it moving. You know why I find this so funny? We did this already. If 15 squared is 225, then the square root of this number is what? Which one it gonna be? How do I get that? Are you sure? has to be B. You know why? Think about the rules of decimals. If you multiply this by itself, how much decimal places you're gonna end up with? In 6 decimal places? How much this go? 4. So which one of these here when you multiply gonna give you 4 decimal places? It must be this one. Remember the decimal rules, okay? Everybody with me? This is not even about calculations because all the digits got 1 and 5. It's all about understanding which one gonna give you 4 DPs. When you multiply 2 DPs by 2 DPs, the total DPs of your answer gonna be 4. All right? All right. No, we did this a million times. So all I want is the answer. Which one of the following shows a function? Let me see if we're remembering. Excellent. Excellent. The only one that is a function is the one that shows us a one-to-one. Okay? Excellent job, everybody. Let's go next one. We did this one already too. Even if you don't remember the answer, you should remember what you need to do, right? Everywhere you see everywhere you see X, you replace it with -3. So that's 3 times -3 minus 1. That's -9 minus 1, -10. So the answer is B. Same thing with here. And the same thing we're doing here. Everywhere we see X, we put -1. So it's going to be -1 square minus 3 times -1 plus 1. A negative and a negative is a positive. So that's +1. Minus 3 times -1 is -3 plus 1. What's going to happen here? Clashing signs. So you're going to turn to a plus. So that's 1 plus 3 plus 1. What's my answer? C. No, but listen to me. If it's one thing you really should use your time for is making sure that you could maneuver to questions like this with negatives. You should never begin a question wrong because you do this wrong, okay? Oh, I love this. We did this already too. Which of the following represents a straight line? We did this before. The answer is B. Excellent. Because this is the only one that looks like what? Y equal mx plus c. Excellent job, everybody. That's what we're talking about. Next one. We did this one already. From the line, the values of x where y is -1 are, what do? We look for where y is -1, innit? So let's look in. Where is -1 for y? It's below the 0. So we go across on both sides. So let me use my yellow line. This is the -1 line. So we need to figure out then what is this point? And then, so we got 2 values where y is -1. Everybody seen it? So let's look at our options. Which one would you pick? That ain't looking like no 2 point. Oh, let me hush. Everybody choose one, please. All right. Does it look like 1 and -1? Does it look like 2.2, 2.5, or 2.8? Let's go, man. You want me to zoom in some more? Which one is it? It has to be B because it ain't even reach half mark yet. So it can't be 2.5. What's for 2.8? Okay. So our answer is B. No, this one you don't know. So this is a teaching opportunity here. It says, which one of these equations represent this graph? Yeah, remember I spoke to you about how we know when a graph is an upside down U and a downside U? First thing first, the equation must be a quadratic equation, and you should know what each quadratic equation is. Anything that looks like ax squared plus bx, sorry, I don't want to make pen sticking, plus c is a quadratic equation. So which two can be there? Which one can be there? Which two done eliminated? A done eliminated and B done eliminated. Note, what is the difference between A, C, and D? C has a positive A and D has a negative A. Everybody seen it? Look at it. It's the exact same thing, except one has a positive A, one has a negative A. Which one you think is the one with the positive A? This is the one with the positive A. So anytime A is greater than 0, it's an upside U. Anytime A is less than 0, it's a downward U. A sad face. So positive, smiley. Negative, sad. Everybody with me? So let me give you an example. If I give you 3x squared plus 2x plus 5, if I tell you how this graph gonna look, you should know that A is always the number in front, the x, okay? The x squared. So once that number is positive, you know you're gonna get a curve that looks so. Versus if it was negative 3, the curve, it's gonna be a curve, but it's gonna be a curve like that. And we should also remember, this is gonna give me a maximum or a minimum? A minimum point. Which one? This is the minimum, and this one would be the maximum. This would be the maximum point. If you got it, say got it, please. So we see here our answer must therefore be C. Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. Even though I think my voice is annoying. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. So the distance around the edge of a circular pond. What's another word for the distance around something circular? What's that word? What does it mean? What part of the circle we talking about? Excellent. The circumference. Everybody agree? So the first thing that should come to your mind is what? The formula for that, right? And you know, you got two formulas. It's either 2 pi r, which is the same thing as pi d. So that's the first thing you got to think about, because remember, this formula do not come in the exam. You know what? Let's be sure. Let me go back and take a look. It's always important to be prepared. Okay, you're lucky because it is here. So I guess anything with a circle, if you don't remember it, you come back to the formula sheet, okay? But you see, they didn't give you the second one. They only give you one. They didn't give you the pi d. Everybody with me? They gave us the quadratic equation to solve. Remember the quadratic equation I was just telling you about? They give you trig ratios, sine, cosine, tan. They give you the 3 formulas for the triangle to find the area. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And they also give you the sine and cosine rule. So these are the things you don't necessarily have to memorize, but if you memorize it and you forget, you could come back and check. All right, so let's get back here. They ask us to find the radius in meters. So they're telling us that C is equal to 88 meters. So you just substitute. 88 is equal to 2 pi r. What did they ask us to find? The radius. You realize they still got pi? Which one is the answer? Let me see if we did this already before as well. Look at it. Which one is the answer? I need more people to answer this one for me, please, because I need to know you know what to do. And that's why I ask y'all. The answer is D. Because if I want R, shouldn't I divide by 2 pi? Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. We can't make these small mistakes, okay? So always pay attention. You see how close these two answers are? It's intentional to make sure you slip up. Okay? Everybody know the name of the shape? First of all, what type of polygon is this? Because we went through polygons before. What type of polygon is this? A quadrilateral. Excellent. What type of quadrilateral is this? Anybody remember what a quadrilateral is? This is called a trapezium. I realize y'all ain't good with polygons, eh? And remembering the names of the different shapes. Remember the two that are important. You must know all of the triangles. You must know the name of all the quadrilaterals. Okay, so this is a trapezium. How do we know it's a trapezium? It only has one pair of parallel lines. And that means, do you guys remember the formula? Because they asked for the area. Be honest, do you remember the formula? Okay, thank you for your honesty. So the area of a trapezium is half A plus B times H. And A and B are the lengths of the parallel sides. So this would be a 7 and 11 would be a B. So what would represent our H? What number would represent our H? Excellent. So please remember, these formulas don't come on the exam paper. So you got to remember it. Half of 3 plus 11 times 3. So let's go. Half of what? What we finding half of? Half of 14. And that times 3. Half of 14 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. Even though in this example, it does not ask for units, but what gonna be the units? The unit is gonna be what? Centimeter square, okay? So don't ever forget centimeter square because it's area. And for volume, what is the units? Centimeter cube. Okay. All right, so we're moving along nicely so far. Seems like everybody is doing well in following. Okay, so the next one is, it gives us a shape. I think we did this already as well. And they're asking for the total area. So we call this a compound shape. What two shapes you're seeing? Y'all seeing the two shapes, right? So this one would be a square. And this one is a triangle. So do we remember the formulas for these two? This would be what? Half base times height. This is on the formula sheet. The square is not, but the square is what? Length square. Why length square? Because length times length. Since the length and the width is the same distance, right? So what is the volume for my square? 25 centimeters square. Agree or disagree? How we got that? Because 5 times 5. Good. Similarly, what is the area for the triangle? What would be the base? Anybody realize what the base would be? The base is 5 because the base is the same length as one side of the square. So it's going to be half of 5 times the height, which is 4. Please always remember, how do you know you could choose 4? You see this perpendicular box? Once it's a perpendicular line, you know that represents the height. So that would be half of what? 20. So what is our answer? Our answer is 10 up here. So what is my complete answer? What's the answer, the complete answer? 35, because 25 plus 10 is 35. So the answer is A. Next one. The area of a rectangle is 53.6 centimeters. So in my mind, I already gonna write down area of a rectangle is length times width. We know one side gonna be longer than the other. If the length is multiplied by 4 and the width is halved, the area would then be what? So that's easy. So we know that the area is this number here, right? Sorry, let me just fix this. As I was saying, the current area is 53.6. Everybody with me? They say if the length is multiplied by 4, so it doesn't matter. If you multiply the length by 4, you're affecting the area by 4. So you're multiplying by 4. And the width is halved. So that means you're still dividing by 2. So overall, what number you're actually multiplying the area by? And by 2. Everybody following me? So your answer, obviously, even without calculating, can't we choose the answer? We know it could never be this. It could never be this. It could never be the same. So the answer is C. All right. We did this already as well. And you don't have to calculate. You realize you just got to represent the information correctly. It says this is a sector. We remember what the sector is. The sector is like the slice, right? Such that the angle of the sector is 72 and OBR is the units for the radius. What is the area of the shape? First of all, when you look at that, which two could never be the answer if you're looking for the area? Which two options could never be correct? A and B could never be correct because the regular formula for area is pi r squared. So pi r squared must be in here. Everybody with me? And let's say you don't remember, it's on the formula sheet. There's no formula that gives you pi r just like that. Okay, there's pi d, but there's no pi r. Everybody following? But how do we determine if it's 1/5 or 2/5? We must put the angle they gave us, 72, out of what? It must be out of what? It's always out of what? 360, excellent. Now, if you know your tables, what number could go into both 72 and 360? A 6. Hello? 6 could go into 72. How much times? I think it's 12, right? Yeah. Then 6 could go into 36 6 times and you put back the 0. But I could break this down more. I know 12 and 60 could break down each other because 12 into itself goes once. 12 into 60 goes 5 times because 5 times 12 is 60. So obviously, which one is the answer? The answer is C. Okay? These questions can't mash eye up. We did this one already. 43. What's the answer? I literally did this in the last class. How many kilograms make a ton? 1,000 kilograms make 1 ton. Very good. All right. We did this exact question already. It took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 1,080 kilometers. What is the average speed? Look at this. You see how we're going through this again? Look at this. If you don't know how to find speed, how did I teach you how to find what to do? In the units telling you what to do, you know, what does this mean? This mean kilometers divided by hours. So what are the two things? What is the formula for speed? So I'm going through it again. So speed is equal to what? Distance, because kilometers represent distance in it. Over hours, what does hour represent? Time. So let's say in the exam, you don't remember the formula for speed. Look at the units. So what two things we divide in? We divide in the distance, which is 10,080 over 9. And boom, we did this already because I don't see the answer. 9 could go into itself once. 9 could go into this 12 times. So what is my final answer? 1, 2, and we bring back the 0, 120. Don't make a mistake and circle B, eh? Okay? Everybody, if you got it, say got it, please. Okay, excellent. All right, excellent. So let's keep it moving. A man starts that journey at 9:30 hours. Once you see they put hours in the back here, you know that this represents AM or PM. Excellent. That's AM because they use in the 24-hour clock. He arrived at his destination in the same time zone at 13:30 hours on the same day. If his average speed was, again, you see, they give you the units. They give you the speed now, which is 30, then calculate the distance for the journey. So how do you start off? You don't go start dealing with all kind of things. You always put on your formula. You know that speed is equal to what? Distance over time, which is the same thing as well. Kilometers over hours. Everybody with me? So then you substitute, right? So they want the distance. So you just got to transpose right and wrong. So you know the speed is 30. The distance is the unknown. So I'm going to use X over the time. Where do we find the time? This is the part. No, they didn't tell us the exact time. They give us the time frame. So we got to work out the time. Do it however you need to do it. What does 13:30 represent? What is this time in 12 hours? They're saying 1:30 p.m. Excellent. So you could use your fingers, you could use whatever you need to use. And you know why it's easy? You realize the 30 minutes ain't changing. So you just got to focus on the full hours. So from 9:30 to 10:30, that's 1 hour. So 10:30 is 1. 11:30 is 2. 12:30 is 3. 1:30 is 4. Everybody with me? So it's going to be 4 hours. So guys, based on this, how do I find X? What do I need to do to find X? I transpose. And if you look at it, because X is in the numerator, we need to get rid of the denominator. So we multiply by 4 on both sides. So we know this is going to cancel. So X is equal to 3 times 4 is 12. Bring down the 0, 120. Boom. Everybody got it? All right, excellent, excellent. We're moving through. So we have a pie chart here. Now we're gonna tell you the truth. They did a year where they make students draw a pie chart. How many people could draw a pie chart from scratch? Using the protractor and a compass. Yes or no? If you can or you can't. Because since we have so much time, we are going to break down some sessions. I'm going to do the construction session still, teach you how to construct triangles, how to bisect lines with the protractor and the compass, all these things. I'm also going to have a session with drawing graphs. So we're going to learn how to do a bar graph again, a histogram again, a frequency polygon again, a cumulative frequency curve, and we're going to learn to draw pie charts. Okay, so we're gonna have a session just on that construction. So I'm gonna send you guys the schedule so you try to make an extra effort to attend, especially if you know you're weak in those areas. Okay, like I said, even though I was a little frustrated in the beginning about the extension, I think is a blessing. So we need to make sure we take advantage of this time, this extra time. All right, so let's go. We know the beautiful thing about pie charts, it falls within the shape of a circle, and some information that we know about a circle is what? All the degrees in the circle add up to 360 degrees. So just by looking at this image alone and not even reading the question, I see that they gave us, yeah, trust me, I am with y'all in terms of being tired, mentally tired. That's why, you know, Miss V had to get she hot girls, like, you know, vacation on this weekend so I could reset and be ready to kind of push a little further. So if you need a night off, treat yourself, guys. Do something that you like, but then after that, go right back into focus mode, okay? Because we still have 4 weeks, and 4 weeks is very long. Yeah, okay. So as I was saying, we see here we got some angles and we see we have no angles. So that's the first thing I pick up. And I know all of them should add up to 360. So it says here, the pie chart above, not drawn to scale, represents the masses of ingredients in a cake. The total mass, and you remember we talk about balancing information. What did they give us? The total mass. Everybody following what I'm trying to show you already? So for me, I know 360 degrees is equated to 288 grams because this is total degrees to total mass. Hello? That's how I'm supposed to be thinking already. What is the combined mass in grams of fat and sugar? Same thing I just say here. In it. So what we need to do is figure out how much is this here. And just by looking, that's what, 195? Yeah? So that's 195 degrees to balance to some unknown number. Now, the only trouble with this, right, is that, how to say this? The only thing about this is that these numbers ain't easy to like calculate if without a calculator. You see what I mean? Because what we have done usually divide by 360 on both sides, find how much 1 degree, how much grams is 1 degree, and then multiply. But if we look at that, we realize it's gonna be kind of tricky. Agree or disagree? So guess what has to come into play here? We need to see how we could balance this off. First of all, what is half of this is what I am doing for my personal preference. So I could eliminate and pick the best answer. Okay? Everybody with me? And then we're going to calculate it because to be honest, this is a lot. So what I would have done is say half of 360 is what? Half of 360 is 180, right? Yeah? And then I know 180 is below 195. 195 is above 180. Agree or disagree? So what I would say too is half of 288 is 144. So that means that X must be what? In above 144. A little above 144. Talk to me if you see what's showing you. So let's look at the elimination then. Based on that, which one would you pick? Talk to me. Because let's be real. At the end of the day, we got to work smart. Sorry about that, guys. I was looking at something. Sorry about that. I did something and nobody ain't even realized. Like everything I said was correct except one thing. And nobody ain't realized. What is 195? And these are the things I need out because this is what students would do all the time. What is 195? 195 ain't the things we just add up here. So should it be that number I use? Ain't fat and sugar I'm supposed to use. So if I want fat and sugar, what should I do with the 195? And subtract it from the 360. So everything else I say is right, except they're using the right number. And I did it to show you that all answers are here. If you use the 195, that answer is here. And you realize they even put 195. Hello? You see how CXC beat the wicked bad? Anybody check what's showing you? It's not 195 we need. 195 is what we get when we add up other eggs and flour. So to get fat and sugar, right? What I should have done was what? Or what we should have done was what? 360 minus 195. You can't take nothing for granted, people. When you got questions like this, always back check. So that is how much? 165. So instead of comparing 195, we're supposed to be comparing what? 165. So let's go now. Same concept, but instead of 195, 165. So we know 165 is lower than half mark. Everybody with me? And half mark is 144. So now, looking correctly, which one you're going to pick? Instead of C now, which one would it be? B. But everybody realized how I avoided all that drama with calculation. You see, if the numbers them was nice and you could have canceled it easy, you do it. But when you see numbers like this, estimate, because we ain't on a time to be dividing all these numbers here. We ain't on a time for that. If you got it, say got it. Sorry, I'm looking for my phone. All right, so let's continue. So we have another pie chart. The pie chart shown below has shows how students use 12 hours in studying English, maths, French, and geography. What does that mean? 12 represents the total hours in it. So you see how we did before, we put the two things together. 360 represents 12 hours. Everybody see that? So for me, you realize these numbers are easier to deal with, like what I was telling you before. So I could find out how much degrees is 1 hour. 1 hour would be divided by 12. So that means 1 hour is what? Yeah, in 30 degrees. Excellent. So let's look at this now. It says here, the amount of time spent studying mathematics is approximately what? So look at where maths is. What does maths look like? It look like a quarter. It look like a quarter. So honestly, all you need to do is find a quarter of 12, because if the total is 12 hours, you find a quarter of 12, or you divide 12 by 4 and you will get what? 3 hours. C. Yes. So let me go. This is statistics now. This look easy. The median of the age scores presented above is, what do we do when we want to find the median? We must do something first. What do? We must arrange the numbers from smallest to biggest. Excellent. So you should have what? 1, 4, 4, 7, 8, 8, 10, 15. And I always back check. I should have how much numbers? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you find the middle number, right? So that's, I scratch off from the ends. So we got two numbers. When you get two numbers, what do? You add them. 7 plus 8 is 15. And you divide it by 2. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. The answer is C. Next one. What is the mode? The mode of the numbers is, may I answer in this one? I need an answer, please. What's the answer for number 49? Excellent. Mode means the most frequent, the most popular, the number that shows up the most, highest frequency. And in this example, that would be 18, because 18 shows up twice more than everybody else. All right, so let's keep it moving.